Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Does it look like what I know what I'm doing, man? Yeah. Anyway, you remember that skip helmet? This one. What's up, man? I took the bottom piece off, and now I'm just smoothing it up a lot. Take something off. Yeah. Okay. Don't want to take off any of my PPE there, Nick. Yeah. So I got to figure out where I left off. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear with that. Yeah. Right now I'm making some folds for a breastplate here. So we can go over this way. So I've got the breastplate here. And basically it's going to go on something like that. And there's going to be a couple extra ones like this. And they'll kind of collapse and move around. So that way I have more protection down here. But when I like raise my legs and stuff, it like moves around. So that's kind of how it's going. Yeah. It'd take a little shop tour or something. I gotta. You know, I don't know. At this point, I don't think I'm going to be doing test sets just because they're on the miniature or the illumination facing this. It doesn't seem like there are any on it. It's just the folds. Like it's actually interesting because it's kind of interesting. I thought that was cool. Yeah, Burgundian stuff is interesting. There we go. Here, I'll take you a little tour of the workshop. So here it's okay, right over here, yeah. There we go. So this is you've probably seen this a couple times. So here's how this goes, if I can. So that's my just kind of my normal workbench. And I like that one because it's got all the extra sides onto it, which makes it a lot more convenient to work on things as opposed to this one, which my dad built years ago before I even started doing any of this stuff. And, you know, that one's all right, but it's only got that one side there, which is kind of limiting occasionally. And it gets taken up with clutter very fast. That one, not so much, just because of the way that I've got like storage and all that sort of thing. So I've got right there, that's my welding station sort of thing. And milk, yeah. Shut up, Nick. God damn it, how do I boot something off the chat? You know, for everybody else in the stream, I don't know who this Nick guy is. Seems like a real idiot, though. So I've got a bunch of my tools and things right there. It's on some pegboard. And then some of the more fun stuff. I got like I got my anvil here, and it's got tons of hammers and stuff on it right now because I've just been working on things nonstop for a little while. I've got some of my dishing forms and whatnot, and a bunch of hammers. There we go. This is weird. Half-inch laptop that I'm trying to do. And there's just a bunch of those things there. And then there's a railroad tie. And just because I'm here. So this is where the workshop is. This is my parents' land, and that's very nice, very nice. It's a nice, cool now too. You know, it's only about 70, which is pretty cool. Yesterday was almost 100. That was a hot one. So, yeah. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I don't really know what to do here. yeah, it is very nice. Very lucky to have grown up here. It's really good. You know, I don't need to worry about bothering the neighbors with any sound that I make, and plenty of room to run around and things as kids do. So yeah, I don't really know where to go from here. So I'm gonna go close the door. Yeah, here I can show you the rope that we hanged a cat with. We didn't actually really hang a cat, but it looked like it. You can find that video's on the channel here. So there we go. It's oh no, the connection's unstable. We got it. Okay. Yeah, so so right now I'm just it's a little shed, it's a little garage thing. The Wi-Fi router, it's over there somewhere. The internet connection is spotty out here, to say the least. So yeah, don't worry, cheeseburger. I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. So yeah, so the whole thing. Sewer slide. I think it should still be good now. So yeah, I don't know. Should I just like keep planishing or something? Because I don't really know what to do. Hang on, Nick. Yeah, no, it's actually out there forever now. So, yeah, all right. You know, if I keep doing that, it's going to end up being a really boring video. It's like literally just planishing. Like, honestly, how much more boring can you get? Like, that's ridiculous. How do people keep doing this? Just talking for just like nonstop. This is hard. Here, check this out. It's a drill press. Isn't that novel? You like press it and it drills things. It's pretty high tech. It's got this light that I don't know if it works anymore. No. That's yeah. So I got no idea what I'm doing, man. All right. I got that about to where I'd like it, so. Yeah, Nick, shut up. Thanks for sticking up for me, Callie. Jeez. See what we got. Sometimes I've actually got a little piece of a back plate on here, but it doesn't really fit very. Ooh, somebody put a chat in. Yeah. So like, it's supposed to go on so like that, but the thing is that's kind of big and it's hard to see on my back. So like, I have no idea what's going on back there. I can't see anything, but it doesn't feel right. So, yeah, that's not going anywhere. Here, I got an idea. I can show you my most horrible failures that I've never come out of here. So here's what this one's on the nicer side. This is a visor for the bassinet. They just keep flashing. Yeah, okay. Here, let me show off my my embarrassments real quick. So this is this hound skull, and it's 18 gauge. I tried welding it, but stainless doesn't weld very well, so that didn't go. It's another visor that never made it anywhere. This is that like really pointy one that everybody likes, except this was made out of like ridiculously thin metal, and it was just awful. Like, hey, thanks, cheeseburger. So, like, yeah, I should just recycle this somehow. Right here, let's bring this out. Show and tell. It's so much fun. Captive audience and everything. There, you got my head. You kind of see the resemblance. There we go. Something like that. Oh, you know, the stuff that I used to make wasn't very good. I made this head basically. So what I did is I took a plastic bag and I put it over my head. It's not a joke. I put that plastic bag over my head and I just kind of started wrapping it and wrapping. So yeah, there's a video of it on my channel. You can find that. It wasn't me doing it, but I mean it wasn't my head. It was on my friend's. But I did the same thing to me. But whatever. Do I have a forge? So no, I don't actually have a forge. A lot of what I can do cold, just with dishing it and whatnot. A lot of things historically would have been done hot and raised and everything. But I've got the welder, which that allows me to make some really deep shapes without having to raise it. And then otherwise, the only source of heat that I've got is this torch. It's not very powerful, but it can get the job done for certain things. I use that on a knee piece that I'll be showing you pretty soon. You can actually find a picture of it on Facebook and Instagram at Living Manuscripts, so check that out. Remember when we only made stuff out of cardboard? Geez, yeah, that was ages ago. You know, I still got one of those cardboard helmets. Where'd it go? Yeah, so back before I made like stuff out of steel and medieval armor and everything, I made a little cardboard halo armor. So this one was never finished, but it just kind of slips on something like that. And yeah, that's what I used to do. And then I realized, and then so that was actually kind of a bit of story how I got into medieval armor and new costumes and like cardboard stuff. And my mom always made a joke about how I made more costumes than I ever had clothes and whatnot. And and then as a kid, everybody was interested in medieval stuff, right? I was absolutely no exception. And where was I going with that? Yeah, so I made costumes. I was doing medieval stuff. Eventually, I tried making medieval armor out of cardboard. That really didn't go well because of all the compound curves and everything. And I started making armor out of tin cans, literally tin cans. There's a picture of that. I'll have to show that to you guys sometime. But and then I figured, screw this. I was gonna make armor out of steel right away, And then I started making some some decent stuff. Oh, gee. I don't think I have the Actually, yeah. There's a video of me making my first steel helmet on the channel here. It's called Making a Clap Visor Helmet or something like that. It's made out of 22 gauge mild steel. You can like deform that with your fingers. It's really thin. That was my first experience with steel armor. And this is where I've come from here for now. A plunger? I know what a plunger is, yep. So, yeah, it's an interesting question. A snake. Okay, sure. Yep, I know what those are. Where are you going with this? That's right. There. Eventually I wanted to make like a steel halo armor and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten there just yet. So I never showed you guys this. So this is a upper cannon for my snail. Yeah. And so it kind of fitted on something like that. Kind of going for like an English sort of style. And yeah, I don't know. I just started having some issues with it because it would kind of keep falling down and stuff. And I got to troubleshoot that. It said snail. It says snake. Come on, Nick. Yeah, okay, there's not as much in there as I had thought. Here, I can show you some kinky stakes I've made in high school back a couple of years ago. This is I'm not even gonna, yeah. So a little trick. Steel stakes sometimes can be sort of hard to come by. You know, they're expensive and all that. But one thing that I did before I did that, before I had any sort of steel one, is I took a really hard piece of wood. I think this was a hackberry, and I just kind of rounded it and I put it onto a steel pipe, and that worked out reasonably well. Snake thing used for long coiled spring webs. Oh geez. The chat disappeared. What happened? Okay, that was weird. Well, that's an interesting idea for the snake. I'll be interested to see how that goes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'd be very interested to see how that goes. That sounds very interesting. Should find a way to share those pictures with me. That'd be cool. Let's see. Have I made weapons? No. Well, yes, actually. Here. I have made weapons. The thing about my weapons is that that's actually how I started off. My is that my friend Harry and I, we found a piece of bar stock years and years ago, and we made some little knives out of it. They didn't turn out very well, and eventually I realized that, you know, hey, I don't have the tools, i.e. a forge, to like harden and heat treat and temper weapons and all that sort of thing. But I could do armor. So one thing that I did make just for show, just at like events and whatnot, not necessarily to use or anything, but is this helper. It's just mild steel. It's yeah, it's not sharp, so it's yeah. We'll see how that goes. So that's one thing that I made. I made some swords just for show again, but I never use them in combat because once you hit it, they bend. I made this for training. It's just two pieces of really thick leather that are glued together and sort of riveted onto a shaft. Pure proof parties. Yeah, exactly. And so this is nice. I used this at an event once. And the nice thing about this is that once you hit somebody with it, it deforms, but it just kind of bounces back. And it was really easy to make, actually. So yeah, so that's something interesting if you're looking at trading weapons for halberds or axes or something like that. Yeah, this wasn't my idea. This wasn't my idea. When I started going to HEMA, one of the guys there, he actually builds swords. That's what he does. If you're familiar with Black Horse Blades, that's the guy. They are very nice swords. He lets me build them because I don't have one. I don't have a sword. Very nice swords. So there's a little endorsement if you'd like. He didn't pay me for that. Like somebody would sponsor me. Yeah. And yeah, he's a very cool guy. And he gave me this idea. We're going to be building a couple for a tournament that we're going to be hosting eventually. And yeah. See, there are some questions I think I missed or something. Doomby Florida on Instagram. Perfect. I'll check you out once I get a chance, man. And yeah, shut up, Nick. As always. So I think that this is some kind of hardwood shaft. I think it's ash. I honestly have no idea. It hasn't broken yet. Bit of a funny story about that actually is this thing doesn't bend. It really doesn't very much. Like it shifts a little bit, like it warps so that it doesn't just snap, but it doesn't bend. It's not like rattan or something where it just wraps around somebody. And so a while ago, back in March, I think it was, I hosted an event here. If you're familiar with Knights of the North, I think some of you guys will be. I hosted an event, and we were able to do team battles for the first time. And so it was our first time doing that sort of thing, and it just kind of became chaos for it's just absolute chaos. And so a lot of guys have armor leaves a lot to be desired as far as protection goes, especially Viking guys, because Vikings just didn't wear as much armor as like late medieval sort of things. Like I got nice things. And he barely had any neck protection, barely anything at all. And so one of my guys was chasing this guy on a team, and I was running up behind him. The guy turns around and he sees me, and I was, He starts coming toward me, and the head of the halberd misses him and just hits him right on the neck. And yeah, that guy took a lot of abuse. Earlier on in the tournament, he almost broke his collarbone. It was scary. Okay. Thin Gambesons, yeah. We don't really have many survivals of Gambesons from the 14th or 15th century, for that matter. We have a civilian point, the point of Charles de Blois. But again, okay, do I feel pain? Let me explain Gambesons a little bit first, because I'm kind of a pricky purist when it comes to that. So that one that we have, it's really not very thin. If I recall correctly, I don't remember if the quilting is actually original on it, because it was so thin because it was a civilian thing, they had to quilt it to some sort of foundation so that it doesn't just collapse and everything. So don't quote me on that. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. The other textile garment that we have, do I feel love? Lust. I feel only pain. So the civilian, that one I guess is pretty thin. The only other one that we have, hatred, only for you, Nick. You know that. That one's pretty thin, but the other one that we have, I think it's some sort of jupon where it would be worn over armor, and those tended to be a little bit thicker, but they weren't ubiquitous with wearing armor, whereas like some sort of Portborn de Gambeson, Akaton sort of thing, that was that was sort of a yeah, you should be wearing that with armor. As far as feeling pain goes, I really don't. For HEMA, I've got plate van braces, but on my upper arms, like from my elbow up to my shoulder, and even on top of my shoulder, the Gambeson is all that's protecting me. So it works out pretty well. Again, but those are blunt weapons, which could be some, if you're fighting against edged weapons, it would be different, obviously. But underneath, like plate armor, the Gambeson really shouldn't be absorbing the blows. It should be the distribution of the plate armor that should be soaking up that sort of thing. So, yeah. That's why a lot of plates, as they get later on, they tend to be larger plates or overlapping smaller plates, because that way the force of a weapon hitting you would be distributed across your body instead of just having the edge directly on one part of you. So that's my view on Gambesons, at least. But yeah, one thing I like about thin Gambesons is that they're much more mobile. You can really bend your arm a lot more, so more flexible. Wearing armor over them is a lot easier, definitely. You really get that sort of slim 14th or 15th cent, that slim profile of armor that you see ubiquitously in armor. Like now you look at it like an effigy or something. As I know, they have a very sort of form-fitting figure, and when you start adding thick Gambesons into that, you really start moving away from that thin figure. It really you start looking big, sort of like a little bit like the Michelin Man, like you're made out of tires or something, in my experience, at least. Yeah. Another thing about thin Gambesons is that for heat exchange, you know, a lot more of the heat can escape through there, and it makes it much more comfortable to wear. Alex experienced that firsthand. He used to wear really thick Gambesons, and then he started moving to thinner ones, and his experience has improved exponentially. Well, the Gambeson does help with like a little bit of the distribution, obviously, marginally, maybe, but yeah. But then again, something that you have to consider with plated armor over Gambeson is that it needs to be fitted to the Gambeson as well, because the Gambeson adds a little bit of extra mass to your body. That might be something that could be what you're experiencing potentially. I don't know. Personally, in my experience, thin Gambeson is preferable. That's my experience, you know, for all those reasons that I've just said. But yeah. So I can't personally vouch for the thickness of Gambesons based on primary sources, just because, as far as I'm aware, the only survivals are that Jupon, which isn't really technically a true Gambeson that you'd wear under armor, and then the Polar Point, which is a civilian garment. So we don't have any direct survivals to say they were this thin, or this one was this thin, or thick, however you'd like to say it. But based on what we can see in effigies and from experience fighting in the Gambesons, it's my belief, so based on that research that I've done personally, that Gambesons tended to be on the thinner side. I know that there are people who agree with me, there are people who would disagree with me. But that's my viewpoint on it. 16th century, what's that? Okay, yeah. I mean, once you got the 14 gauge and the Gambeson, regardless of how thick the Gambeson, or with that combination of a Gambeson and 14 gauge, I don't think you're going to be feeling much anyways by that point. So, yeah. But anyway, that's my viewpoint on Gambesons and armor. So, like, I'll admit, a lot of my research was based off of research that like Ian Laspina has done, and I think Dr. Capwell mentioned something, just that sort of thing. You know, I took what they said and I started doing my own research for it, and that's the conclusion that I ended up with. So take that as you will, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, this live stream has been going on for half an hour now. That's pretty cool. Ian's the best. He really is. Yeah. Yeah. He seems like a really cool guy. I'd like to meet him one day. You know. Maybe sometime I'll contact him and it's like, hey, notice me. I also make videos about armor. I don't know. I don't want to appear like I don't know how to say it, but you know, like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna put this back real quick. A creep? Yeah, a little bit like that too. Hey, Ian. Oh, man. The guy who challenged me to make some articulation and stuff. I've got something for you. It's inside right now. It's inside the house right now. But I just last night actually, I made the rest of the leg harness with the 15th century stuff. I'll have to run in and grab that. So, you have any advice for me? Advice for somebody making new armor, I would definitely have to say, understand like why armor is the way it is, not necessarily just how to make it, but like once you're comfortable with moving the armor or moving the metal into the shapes and everything, it's important to know just where to stop or where to move the steel exactly. Robert McPherson, if you guys are familiar with him, he's just a very well accomplished armorer. He had a lecture about this that I'm actually going to be referencing in an upcoming video. He just talked about exactly that for like 2 hours. It was great. It's just understanding why armor is the way it is, because that way, once you understand why armor is the shape it is, what sort of things it needed to fulfill and all that, then you'll be that much closer to making armor historically. And that's another thing is I find that the closer I make armor to historical examples, the fewer problems I run into. You know, there's no sense in reinventing the wheel. Yeah, yep. Connor is right. Definitely doing like floating stuff. That's why a lot of people start with earlier century armors a lot, like 14th century stuff. It's a lot more forgiving, definitely, when you don't have to worry about articulation and all that. I made that mistake by trying to just do an articulated arm harness right away without understanding anything about armor, really. And, oh, man, the results were just disastrous. So, all right, I'll tell you what. Where's my Sharpie? Here. All right, so I am going to run inside. That's exactly what you and I were talking about that just yesterday, I think it was. Yep, Connor's right. Progressing through history at your own pace. Like I started with 14th century stuff, and now I'm doing a lot more 15th century stuff. I would love to do like 16th and 17th. So look at a piece of armor, and it just looks like so much fun is all, you know? Like so. So I'm just going to write a little note saying that I'll be back for anybody coming into the live stream. I'll be back. There we go. Just a little bit of Arnie for you. And so I'm just going to go grab. Is that going to work? Perfect. I'm going to go grab that leg harness. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, here we go. Time me on this one, guys. Say something. Okay, I'm back. Oh, oh man. Okay. So, I've been doing, you guys. So I've been doing more 15th century stuff, like you've seen the closed helm and the sallet and the breastplate. Jeez, and all that. But I wanted to do a little bit more leg protection. So The lighting isn't that great in the shed right now, but so check this out. Ready? It bends further than my leg, which needless to say, I'm pretty pleased with that. So I'm going with a bit of that Burgundian style that I mentioned before, and oh man, that is just seriously satisfying. Like, oh, I could just do that all day. Jeez. Oh. The knee pad, it's ridiculous. It's huge. It's crazy. But like those Burgundians, man, I don't, the noise, it just, yeah. Oh, that's lovely. So this is the right leg, stands in the corner. That's what I do, Nick. I stand in the corner. I just, So that's the right leg, anyways. And here's what the left leg looks like currently. So it's got a ways to go. But yeah, so right now, I had a Lenny face. So I've got to add a couple plates onto the side there that'll kind of wrap around my leg. Tiny adorable clinking. Yeah, the little bolts. It's like this versus. Oh. So I've got to add those little things in there. I've got to put all the straps in. Eventually there'll be a little hole on the demi greave there to put the pin through on the greave and everything, but that's a ways off. I'm just satisfied with the way that it fits and everything. Like here, like, man, that fan is just ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. And he splinted. Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. So a little bit ago, Alex, he's one of my friends. Thanks, Doopy. He's one of my friends. He ordered some mail that ended up being too small for him. And he was kind of bummed about that because he couldn't return it to the manufacturer for whatever reason. And so I told him some pieces of armor that he wanted before. And so I am actually making some splinted armor for him. So right now, this is there. So right now, this is how it looks. It's just kind of little bands, I guess. So it still has to be riveted to the foundation and everything. So the big metal plates here. I'll actually show you one of the plates that I got. So keep in mind, I got this plate in December of 2016. So I'm going to put my gloves on because they're sharp. So this is made of 16 gauge steel, and I got this. This originally was 4 feet tall by 10 feet long, and I got that for $80 at a local machine shop. So that's kind of my secret. There's a local machine shop in the town that my workshop is in, and it works out really well. I just call up my buddy with a pickup truck, and like, hey, can you help me pick up some steel? And he's like, yeah, sure. So we go pick up the steel, $80, lasts me years. But yeah. So a while ago, a local church was converting from a restaurant into a church or something. And so they had to take out these splash platings of stainless steel. And there were some big sheets. Like there was a 10 foot by 4 foot or 4 foot by 10 foot one. There was also like a 4 foot by 15 feet one. I got that also maybe like 2 years ago or something. Though that little bit there, that's what is left of the first one. But I've still got the 15 footer back there. So I am not, and that's 18 gauge stainless, which is pretty good, frankly. I make a lot of greaves, and actually a lot of that leg harness is 18 gauge stainless. Australia. Wow. Huh. Yeah. 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 I usually have to get them to cut the steel in half as well, because otherwise, yeah. Actually, no. We fit the 10-foot piece into the back of the guy's truck. Yep. Rundles and bracers. That's a good idea. Yeah. Actually, a lot of people ask me about my dishing forms and just tools in general, honestly. And so when I was in high school, I was in a shop class, you know, as you do and everything. And let's see, pretty much during that shop class, I pretty much had free reign for extended periods of time. It was fantastic. And so I just made a whole bunch of specialty steaks and tools and everything. So like I made this sort of L steak thing. And one thing that people ask me about a lot is the dishing forms. And I just took some steel piping and I welded it to a flat plate. That's and then I kind of beveled the edge and everything so it doesn't mark up the surface too much. And this is what I use for dishing. It works out really well. I can get very deep shapes. And then I've got that one, and then I've got a smaller little one that I use alternatively. How do I cut them? Honestly, I've actually gotten pretty good with using the angle grinder. I guess that's probably something that just comes with experience, with practice with it and everything. Another way that you can cut pieces is I used to use a jigsaw with a metal cutting bit. So this works pretty well. It leaves a lot of like little crescent shaped sort of pieces around, which really get into your shoes. And if that's a problem for you, then don't use this, I guess. But otherwise, this works out really well. You can get pretty good curves and extended lines and everything. I think somebody said use a chisel. That's definitely a way to do it. It takes forever. If you can find some shears, that's another good one. Like Beverly shears are, you know, people love those things, but they're expensive, obviously. For small pieces, I've got some hand shears. So when I don't need to go very long, or I just need to trim off a corner or something, I can just snip it off. That's all I can really think of for cutting it right now. If you have like a plasma torch or something, I guess you could, or oxyacetylene or something like that. Yep. Big shears. Yeah, honestly, the angle grinder, it's one of my favorite tools. It's very versatile. You can use it for everything. You can, I just really like it. You got cutting just for, you got grinding and sanding, polishing. I know, it's just so good. It is fantastic. I love my angle grinder. The thing is, you just got to make sure that you respect it as all, you know? It's a little bit like a snake or something, but yeah, you really just got to know what you're doing with it. Yeah, 14 gauge is definitely a pain, but that's where the angle grinder, the cutting disc comes in, because you can just no problem. Like the shears, I can cut through 14 gauge very well with that. Yeah, oh yeah, angle grinder, very dangerous, definitely. You really got to know what you're doing, or at least be very aware of where it is and everything. So only use an angle grinder if you really know what you're doing. That's all I can really say. Yeah. So, and honestly, if you've got an angle grinder, you're pretty well set up for most things. With what you can do with an angle grinder, you can also do with a bench grinder most of the time. Not all the time, obviously, but a lot of the times, you know, you can bevel edges, no problem. You can grind off pieces. You can't cut things with an angle grinder. I've never seen anybody cut something with a bench grinder. So, yeah. I don't know if you can get wire wheels for angle grinders, but I've taken to not using the wire wheel as much anymore. I still use it a lot, especially for like edges and stuff, but that's only because I have it. It's easy. If you don't have a bench grinder, you can just easily enough take the one disc off of the angle grinder and then put a different one on and keep going. But yeah. Thank you, man. Okay, but yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. You can go more. Oh. I didn't know that. I'll have to give it a look or something. I know I knew before that you can get them for like an electric drill or something. I'll bet that would work out pretty well too. But yeah, it's getting a little warmer here. I'm gonna open up the big door real quick. Here, I will show you. It's a lovely day out. Yeah, warm, yeah. Don't know what it's like in Australia, but I don't know. Jeez. Yeah, for the past like couple weeks, it's been in the 90s, which for a Wisconsinite like me, it's a pretty warm. But yeah, do I sell armor? Occasionally, yeah. I'm actually talking with a guy right now about selling some armor to him because he contacted me and he asked if I sell it, and I just told him that, you know, I've done armor for a lot of my friends before, so if you don't have a problem with waiting a while because I can't get back to the workshop as often, then I would be happy to make some armor for him. So he's cool with that, so I'm making him some armor. That's just kind of how it went. So yeah, if you don't have a problem with waiting a while, like longer than usual for armor, then I'm your guy, I guess. Yeah. So once I start selling armor more, and once I just build more armor and keep recording, then you know, I'll be able to nail down the prices and all that more. But one thing that you get about if you bought armor for somebody like me, you know, who is very small scale sort of individual workshop, is that you can really get some sort of interesting custom things. So like I've never seen anybody at least I haven't seen any on like the market, just retail or anything like that, close helmet that I've been doing. Obviously you're not going to get something sized to you, but yeah. So if you're interested, yeah, I'm sure we can work something out. Oh geez, I missed a bunch. Let's see, got some snow in Australia. Interesting. Do you normally get snow in Australia? I can't say I'm very familiar with that sort of thing. I know we got a whole bunch of it here, and honestly, it was snowing in mid-April this year, which is a little later than usual. So yeah. Yep. I've seen the. I think I saw the helmet. I kind of creeped on you a little bit after you made that comment on the Facebook page a little bit. So yeah, you don't mind working on armor and just letting go. So I'm going to school right now for history, funny enough, but I don't know if that's going to really work out. There's not many job opportunities for history. Like I'd love to do museum work, but frankly, those things are really, museum jobs are hard to come by. So I don't know if that's going to work out. If it doesn't, then I worked as a welder before. I'll just come back to that and work on armor anyways. So I've considered trying to like open my own museum, like a living history sort of open air sort of thing. I thought that would be really cool because that way I can make armor and I can do living history and things like that. And it's a museum. So I don't know. Honestly, I'm beginning to think maybe that's more viable than trying to find a pre-existing museum job. Honestly, I really don't know. I got to talk to some more people and see how things go. But yeah, I don't know. I plan to just keep making armor anyways. I just got to have it's just hard to make a living off of armor on its own. So yeah, that's yeah. Okay. Down in South Australia, gotcha. Same, yeah. Yep, there's a It's just not many museum jobs is all. Yeah. Whew. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll find out, I guess. Either way, I'm going to keep making armor and armor videos because it's fun. It's fun. I love making armor. It's great. It's just... You have to sell this. I usually try and keep the armor that I sell, or at least what I say the armor to sell. I try and base it off of like retail prices, just because there's some things that I could honestly improve on in the armor, but you do get it fitted to you, so I guess it kind of balances out a little bit. So I try not to sell it for too high. You know, I'd love to get to like Eric Dubé's and Jeff Wasson levels of armor, and just being able to make exquisite custom armor and sell it for tons. You know, I'd love to be that good, and I'm definitely working toward that. But for now, I can't justify selling my armor for a lot of money just because I don't think it's as good as that. So that's how I'm thinking. Get ass in your primary school. Dude, yeah. Actually, that's it's not the first time something like that has been suggested to me. I've done educational presentations for schools and youth groups and acting Shakespeare classes in the past. So sort of thing where we're coming to schools and whatnot, that would be very cool, and that's nothing new to me. So I think that's a good idea, definitely. Yeah, so I've considered doing that too. I think that would be cool. Wow, I'm getting a little lightheaded from just talking. Yeah. Yeah, yep. So, yeah. I don't really know where to go from here. Yeah. Greenleaf Workshop, yes. I love Greenleaf Workshop. That I like binged the video on articulation before I started doing this, before I do doing this leg harness. Greenleaf Workshop Graham he knows what he's doing. He really does, and he makes good videos that are easy to follow, and they're not complicated, they're not over edited or anything. And yeah, it's seems like a good guy. So the great helm, I made a great helm. Yeah, I made that great helm. I think there's some things I could do better on it, I'll be honest. But one of the big things was that I wanted to be able to wear it over the small bass net as it would have been done, and that's why I added the retention chain to the to my cuirass or cotoplates or whatever it is, so that I could suspend it on my back. And I really got to try like fighting with that on my back sometime. That would be very interesting, because you know I don't know how much it would affect your fighting having that on your back there. But yeah, Greenleaf Workshop. I love that channel. It's very knowledgeable. I don't play Mountain Blade. No. It's already, you know, I actually don't play as many games as I used to. Like, you know, like it's a bit of a funny story. So a lot of people, you know, they got into armor and medieval stuff, you know, like by Skyrim or Mountain Blade or something, and I haven't played either of those. You know, I've been working on the same Minecraft worlds for like 5 years. And you know, it's like Minecraft and Halo, and that, yeah, like, don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't not like video games or anything. I just don't play them as much anymore. Like, I'd rather be like, it sounds really hipstery and everything, but I'd rather be painting, or I'd rather be making armor or something, you know. Yeah. So no, I don't play Mountain Blade, unfortunately. The chain is a little short. I think that a lot of times they'd be different lengths because they'd usually have like 3 of them or something. And on the original that I was basing mine off of, it wasn't very long. Like I just kind of had to guess based on the pictures that I could see. But yeah, I don't know. It works out well for the great helm just because it kind of puts it right on my back there. It doesn't like fall down too far. So that's my reasoning for the length at least. Yeah. No. If anybody can, if anybody's in the area or can make it to the area that I'm in, it'd be pretty cool to meet you guys. I think definitely, or like maybe we could do some more like video chats or something. I don't know. No, it's not like I'm hiding my name or anything. You can find me. You can find me. So yeah, no, meeting you guys would be really cool, I think. So yeah. I can focus on real stuff, I guess. Yeah, I mean, like I look at a lot of my friends and like my roommate and stuff, and they, they play games a lot. That's the thing. They get a lot out of it. They get a lot out of it. They enjoy the time and stuff. So more power to them. I enjoy it a lot, but whatever. To each their own, I suppose. Yeah. Like I've got this weird, obscure hobby that. It's really boring to explain to anybody who's not already into it. Like anybody else who's not into the hobby, they look at me just planching something for an hour and they're like, why? Yeah. Still stuck in France. Hey, visit some castles for me. Don't have many castles over here in Wisconsin. But make a riveted hauberk. Oh, geez, dude. Don't do that to me. I made some mail a while back. I've actually still got it. It's budded stuff. This is what I ended up with. Yeah, no, mails. I love mail and everything, but it's really not my thing. It's and Chaucer. That's what that was supposed to be before I gave up. Yeah, no, mail really isn't much of my thing. Like I love the shapes and everything that you get with like some of that like 13th century stuff where it's like what's the guy's name? Like Tom Billiter or Isaac. I don't remember his last name, but he made I think his dissertation was on mail, and it looks great. It looks fantastic. It's very form-fitting and it's very elegant and everything, but I just can't do that. I can't do that. That's I like moving the plate into those same sort of elegant shapes and everything more than I like arranging little rings and everything. It just like I adore the people that can do it, and I've been trying to tailor some mail. A medieval male morph suit. Yeah, exactly. A morph suit. It pretty much is. Yeah, you're right. It's pretty much a morph suit. Just the way that it fits and everything. God, that's hilarious. Oh, man. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Alex gave me a bunch of his old mail things, like the no, he kept the players. I had to make my own players, but like a bunch of extra rings and that sort of thing. And so I got some chausses, and I was going to tailor them and everything. I was going to make some mail braillettes for this 15th century stuff. I thought that would be pretty cool. So I'm not completely off to the idea of manufacturing mail pieces, just not from scratch. Not from scratch. Riveted mail. Yeah, editor. Oh, geez. Honestly, man, the coif that you made, that looks fantastic. It looks really good. If that means anything. Like, yeah. Teletubby mittens. Oh, man. Yeah, Teletubby mittens, Jesus. Yeah, they did. I think Ian Laspina, he made a little video about defense for the groin, and he mentioned there's sort of like a little pocket for well, you know, the bits, and there's sort of the they're a little bit like male boxers essentially. You know, I'm actually going to sit down. Where's my stool? There it is. There we go. Yeah. How's that looking? Oh, there we go. Yeah. He did. He talked about that a little bit, and I thought that was interesting. Pulse his eye. Yeah. So I've got a bunch of like just various pieces of mail pieces, I guess, little scraps. And I was going to, you know, cut them out into little pieces and whatnot and rivet them together. Just yeah. I really, when I'm making pieces of mail out of like already existing pieces, I feel like I construct them a lot more like I make plate armor than I do with like mail armor, just because of like arranging all the plates and then, okay, this one's got to get bound to that one in such a way and that one and that. And it's, yeah. It's, I don't know. It's very interesting. Like, honestly, well-fitting mail can really make the difference in a harness. It can really up the standard of it. Really, it can make it look 10 times better. Because when you've got like really baggy mail or something, and like if you're not even trying to hide it, especially, like it's just, you know, it doesn't look so good. Like really bad mail can drag a harness down, in my opinion, but really good mail can bring it up. But like well-fitted mail and everything, it just well-fitted mail brings it to a higher standard. And I think that if you can hide unfitted mail, maybe not terribly fitting, but like unfitted at least, it can look all right. Yeah, exactly. And bad fitting stuff, it weighs you down a lot, you know, when you've got all that extra stuff. Like when people have those full sleeves that they're just literally tubes, there's not even a taper or anything. Not only does it look bad, but there's just so much extra weight that you have to drag around with you. You have to redo it with an extra ring. Yeah, that's got to be a huge pain. Like, yeah, we'll probably die. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Baggy mail sleeves. They get in the way too. Like they interact with each other. Like if the rivets on them aren't really peened very properly, they like get caught on each other, and it's ridiculously annoying. But like, yeah, no. Mail sleeves, man. Like I know that mine, they come down to about there or so, and they're just tubes. They're not tailored or anything, which I'd like to taper them at some point, but you know, it's not like they're coming down to my wrists and they're just tubes. They're bearable, especially when I have the van braces that I made on. They've got like a little elbow cup on it. It kind of tucks them in a little bit, so it kind of keeps them out of the way, which is nice. But it fits so well, you almost didn't feel it. Wow. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Huh. Oh, sorry, there's something outside. Yeah. Huh, that's interesting. Like that same thing goes with plate armor too. Like when it's well fitted to you and stuff, most of the time, or like when you're not like, how do I say this? Like if all goes well, you don't necessarily feel it as much, you know. But, yeah. I feel like a fat old person. Yeah, exactly. Like ridiculously baggy skin or something. Jeez. Yep. Yeah. The chin stuff. I've got one of those. I actually bought a coif and I snipped off the parts of it around kind of there, I guess, and I made that part into the aventail for my bassinet, which that's nice because that way I don't have to worry about it. And then I actually added a little piece that comes up a little bit to go around my mouth, so that way I don't have to worry about that bagginess and everything. Looks nice. Thank you. Yeah, and the padding on it really helps too. It kind of gives it like a shape. It gives it a little bit more mass, and it helps kind of help it move over the top of the other pieces of armor too. It doesn't get stuck on pieces. Yep. You're wondering how I did that? That's how. Yeah. I'm pretty pleased with how it works out, or how it looks and works and everything. That's how I did it. There's a fly on the screen. There we go. Yeah. It works out pretty well. I'm pleased with how it fits. Wow, this stream has been going on for over an hour. That's pretty cool. That's cool. We'll have to do this again sometime. Oh geez, I don't speak that language. I'm sorry. I speak like English, naughty English, and then like really bad German. Yeah. So yeah, it's basically curation. Pretty much that's what it is now. Yeah. Which that's cool. We'll have to do this again sometime. Maybe I'll have to like make an announcement or set like a reminder or something so we can get even more people. Because right now we've got 6 watching. Is what it's telling me. Yeah, that's cool. I wasn't really sure what to expect. English, not English, and bad English. Yeah. I took a couple of years at German in high school, but then again, it's American language instruction, so that should tell you all that you need to know about how much German I speak. Yeah. Kind of a funny story about that. For that, there was actually a German exchange program that I was able to be a part of in my high school year. And so I actually got to go to Germany, and that was really cool. And the thing is that, a lot of us, we spoke enough German to sort of get by, essentially. But we'd try and like talk to somebody who was a German in German, and they just immediately start speaking English to us because our accents were really American. Like we'd be at some sort of cash register or something, and like, I can't even think of what I need to say at the, like I'd say like 2 words, just like, hello, wie geht's, or something. And they just say like, here's your receipt. It's like, come on, give me a chance. Like, oh, geez. Yeah. Do I copy English or French or English armors? Usually, recently I've been taking more of a, at least in the 14th century, I've been trying to do more of an English style. There's not really any reason for that. I just kind of like the way that a lot of it looks more, essentially. So, yeah, but like the 15th century stuff that I'm doing, which is sort of more Burgundian. Burgundy was a region in France, if that means anything. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah. My the German teacher in high school was actually Ukrainian, interestingly enough. That was interesting. So during the classes that I had, oh, get out of here, flies. You're getting on the screen. Or you're getting on the camera. So I think I might have learned a little bit of German with a Ukrainian accent, which is interesting. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if I really speak it well enough to make a difference. So, yeah. Jeez. Let's turn the stool around. It's unstable. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, there are just a bunch of flies on the camera, and they're getting in the way. So it's just kind of weird. Yeah. Anyway, so the stream is going on pretty long, and I should probably let you guys go. You know, I'm sure that you guys have things to do. I probably have things I should probably be doing. So, yeah. This exceeded my expectations for what the stream would be, which is pretty cool. So, to everybody watching, thank you for coming by. Yeah. Yeah, it is seriously unstable. I mean, look at this thing. Yeah, so Alex is going to be coming over this weekend. Hopefully we'll be able to do a live stream of us making things then. I don't know how much I'll be able to interact with you guys, but I don't know. Could be interesting. So it's good to have you guys here, and I guess I'll talk to you later. So thanks for coming by. Bye. Oh, no, not yet. Okay, there we go.